Please be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Barrett versus Jones.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Barrett, you are suing the defendant for $5,000 in damages for emotional distress.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim that the man standing across from you helped destroy your childhood.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Though the defendant may be your biological father, you say he has never been there for you.
That's correct, Your Honor.
In fact, you claim he wouldn't even show up for your mother's funeral when you were just 16 years old.
That's correct.
Mr. Jones, you deny Ms. Barrett is owed financial damages due to emotional distress.
Yes.
You argue you were there for her during her childhood, even though her mother admitted to you she slept with another man when Ms. Barrett was conceived.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are seeking the results of a paternity test as well as an award of $500 for money you say the plaintiff stole from you.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Barrett, first, tell me about your lawsuit.
I'm here today because I can't stand this man. He hasn't been there for me at all in my life. He was never there, never wanted to go to any of my birthdays. He claims he did, but he didn't show up to any of my birthdays. He claims he did so much for me when I was a kid. He wasn't there at all for me when I was a kid. My mom died when I was 16 years old, and I called him looking for comfort because he's supposed to be my dad. And all I got from him was that he couldn't go and to give my mom a kiss from him because he still loves my mom.
No. Your Honor, that's not true. That is not true, Your Honor. I felt that it was not right for me to be there. I was no longer with her mother. That's my past. This is my future here. And it would be disrespect to my new fiance of going to her mother's funeral, which she didn't even show up for her own grandparents' funeral. My parents that passed away before her mother did.
So you're saying she didn't show up for your parents' funeral, and then you're saying he didn't show up for your mother's funeral?
They passed away after my mom had passed away, so no, I wasn't going to go to his parents' funeral after he didn't go to my mom's.
When you say you were experiencing severe emotional distress, Ms. Barrett, describe to the court, how were you feeling?
I didn't have a mom or a dad. I had my grandma. My grandma raised me. Not him, not anybody else. It was my grandma and her husband that raised me and took care of me. My mom wasn't even there.
And so all your life you believe Mr. Jones to be your biological father?
That's what I was told.
Is he on your birth certificate?
No, but I wrote his name on my birth certificate when I was like 7 because I was told he was my dad.
Why are you not on the birth certificate, Mr. Jones? Did you have doubts?
Yeah, I did, because when she come into my life, when her mom brought her into my life.
So take me back. Were you there when Ms. Barrett was born?
No, I wasn't, Your Honor. I was with somebody else. She was not brought into my life.
Did you know her mother was pregnant?
No, I didn't until I was in front of a party store hanging out with my friends. Her mother pulled in and told me that she had to talk to me, which my daughter was in the back seat as a child. And
she was already born?
Yeah, she was, Your Honor.
How old was she?
She was like a year at that time.
So you saw Ms. Barrett for the first time, you didn't even know she existed?
I didn't even know I had a child. They told me that her mother was pregnant by some other guy down south. So you knew she was pregnant, but they told you it was by somebody else down south, yeah. So I left well enough to be, and I went my way, her mother went her way, and then 2 years later, her mother brought her back into my life, saying, this is your
And what happened when you saw her, this child?
It shocked me, Your Honor. I mean, I was
glad that
I was hoping that she's mine, of course.
You were?
Yeah, so of course, Your Honor.
Did Ms. Barrett's mother say she was your child, or did she say she may be your child?
She said she was my child, Your Honor.
Okay.
And then I took care of her from that day all the way up, Your Honor.
And Ms. Barrett, have you always been told that he was definitively your biological father, or were you told he was and then also told he wasn't?
As a young girl, by my grandma, I was told that he was my father, for sure, no doubts. As I got older and I could understand stuff more, I was given more options and told that my mom was a wild teenager.
So as you got older, people began to tell you your mom may have slept with more than one person during that time.
Yeah, I was told it was actually close family members of him, a couple close family members of his. When I was 6 months old, him and my mom sold me to my grandmother for $100. So him saying that he didn't know about me or anything
Barrett,
like that.
Your
I'm
Honor.
sorry.
They needed
Wait,
rent
I'm
money.
sorry. Can you repeat that? You said when you were
6 months old. I was 6 months old, and they ran into my grandmother and told her that they needed rent money. They were $100 short. My grandma said, the only way I'm giving you $100 is if you give me that baby, because I was in rags and not being taken care of.
Your Honor,
And they gave me to my
Your Honor.
grandmother and took the $100 and went home to their happy little house.
No, Your Honor, I'll tell you the truth, Your Honor. I'm from a well-do family. I don't need no money. You know what I mean, Your Honor? I'm well-to-do. And her mother might have tried to sell her to her grandmother because her mother was nothing but a crackhead. You know,
Hold on.
You know,
Let's be
and
respectful.
that's why I left her mother.
Let's be respectful.
Okay, I'm sorry, Your Honor, for disrespecting.
He's trying to make it seem like he was perfect.
Your grandmother just thought
he's
you'd
the
be
one. He
better off
told
with
me
her.
when I was younger too that he wasn't my father.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. There are obviously doubts going through your mind. I mean, when
Well, of course.
someone tells you your ex is pregnant, but she's pregnant by another man, you don't hear anything from her until child is what, a year old?
Yes, Your
and
Honor.
she pulls up and says, "This is your child."
Yes, Your Honor.
What did you think her motivation was? Did you really think this is my
More
child? or did
money, more
you
money.
thought
That's all she
wanted
wanted.
money
Her
from-
mother was a gold digger, man. That's all she did was sit home, spend the money while I made it. That's all.
And so that knowledge fueled your doubts.
Yeah, it did. And I wasn't home as much as I should have been, Your Honor. You know, I was doing my thing, but I always made sure that she had a roof. She had everything that she ever wanted. And she can't call me a liar about it. She's had more than what half of these kids in this world.
But not from him. Not from him. From
Ask
my
her
grandmother.
about the motorcycles that I bought her for $4,000 when she was just little that I ordered from California. Ask her about the waterbed, the computer. What about me sending her
My
to
grandma, my
Arizona
grandma, my
and bringing
grandma.
her back? And
So, Ms. Barrett,
bikes, the
did
clothing.
he ever say to you, I mean, to your face, that
$300
he-
purses.
He doubted whether or not you were his daughter?
Yes, he did.
He did.
He did
That's
say
a lie,
that,
Your Honor.
that he didn't think that I was his daughter. He also told my mom that. And he told my mom that he did not believe that I was his daughter, and then turned around the next day and said that he did, and he trusted her and loved her. He can say what he wants in front of his girlfriend, but he's told my mom since day one that he loves her.
I ain't never stated that. If I loved her mom, I could have stayed with her, man. I left her behind and moved on with my life, Your Honor. You know what I mean? But I always made sure I was in the picture for my child.
But
Always.
did
I
you
was
say that
always
to her?
there.
I mean, listen.
No,
you're,
I've never-
Okay, so
Sure.
you're standing in court today saying you've always had doubts
Yes.
as to whether or not she was truly your biological child.
Well-
And yet, when I asked Ms. Barrett, did you ever express that doubt to her directly?
Right.
She says, yes, you did. But you say, no, you didn't.
No, I have not.
So what, you held it in?
Yeah, I mean, Your Honor, I wasn't there. Her mother showed no signs of her being pregnant when I was with her.
So my point is,
Her
did
mother
you
was-
or did you not look at Ms. Barrett and say, hey, I'm not
No,
really
I
sure if
didn't,
you're my
Your
child?
Honor. I've never stated to this child here that I've ever doubted her being mine. You know, out of my mouth. And what I had inside of me is what I kept inside of me. You know, I didn't always
You felt like that was not information that a young girl
should know at
should
that
know
age.
and to
Right.
discuss with her.
Right, Your Honor.
Absolutely. Ms. Barrett, you say you live with Mr. Jones.
Yes, I did.
What was that like?
It was horrible. I lived with him for about a month. He was completely controlling. Completely. He treated me like his girlfriend, not his daughter. I was wearing a pair of Bermuda shorts.
What?
The Bermuda shorts, the long shorts, I was wearing those, and he claimed that I was looking like a
Yeah,
whore,
Your Honor,
so
Your
to
Honor,
speak.
I had-
He wouldn't even let me wear them.
Your Honor.
And
Your
then
Honor,
he took me to the races
No.
with him and his friend, and supposedly I was shaking my tail feather in front
That's
of his
all
friend.
her and her
I
friend
was
did.
a 12-year-old little girl.
Your Honor.
Wait a minute. So wait, was he being an overprotective father where he
No.
was
He
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
even
it
let
was
me
because
call my mom on
yeah,
Mother's Day.
it was.
He wouldn't even
Because
let me
she
call
couldn't-
my mom on Mother's
Your
Day.
Honor, there were 14, 15-year-old girls walking around my house all skimping at you. You ain't doing that in my home.
You didn't mind
know,
when you were hitting on her.
You know what I mean? all she did is she's a liar. She knows she's a liar. I mean, Your Honor, I told her that her friend had to leave my home because her friend was walking around with all these shorty shorts, and I told my daughter that her friend was not going to be in my home dressing like that. So I put her friend out. It made her mad, and then she wanted to move because her friend couldn't stay there. And I said, I don't want your friend.
And then you say you called the police on...
And I called the police and had her escorted out of because she ripped me off $500. Her and her friend went out and bought new shoes, new clothing.
I left your house with my Uncle Stevie.
Tell me what happened, Mr. Jones.
Okay, Your Honor, I left. I had to go do a couple errands. So I left them money to get them something to eat. So I was gone longer than what I figured I was going to be gone. Well, I came back home. I unlocked the door, come inside. Well, her and her friend sitting in the living room, Your Honor, and they got all these bags laying around. So I said, Steph, where'd you get this? All she could do is sit on the couch and smirk at me while her friend smirked. So something just told me, go in my room and check. So I went in my room, I checked my thing. I was missing $500. I come back out and I asked her, I said, Stephanie, where's my money? What money, Dad? Trying to play me stupid, Your Honor. And I told her, I know I had $2,000. I'm not dummy. $1,800. You took $500. When you come here, you both were broke. I said, where'd you get all these new clothes and everything?
So you come home and they're sitting around with
all new wardrobe, Your Honor.
New clothes.
New clothes, pizza boxes. They were having a good old party at my house, Your Honor.
Ms. Barrett, did you have all the clothes and the pizza and everything?
No, that's hilarious. Really, it is.
So you didn't...
So ask her, why'd I call the cops? Why'd the cops come and get her and take her?
And I didn't get taken by the cops.
You can contact Clinton County in Michigan, and they got a police report where I had her removed from my home, and it's on file that she ripped me off $500. They were going to take her to the juvenile home, and the only thing that saved her was I told the cop, just put her in the back seat of the car, Your Honor, and show her how this is what happens when you're a thief.
Yeah, that's what a real dad would do.
Mr. Jones,
that's what a real dad would do.
So I wanted to show her what
that's what real dads do when their kids mess up. But I didn't mess up and he didn't do that.
Did you bring any evidence of this arrest? This police report?
No, I didn't. I was...
No evidence as to this incident?
No, but I got pictures here showing...
As it relates to your countersuit, I have to say, I mean...
Yes, Your Honor.
You know, although your testimony rings credible, the problem is you have no proof. You know, when you bring a cause of action, a countersuit, you need to have some type of proof. The burden of proof is on you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I have nothing. And for that reason, I have to dismiss your case.
Okay, I apologize, Your Honor.
Moving on. Miss Barrett, what are your hopes today? It seems like you've been through so much.
I hope he's not my dad.
And why?
He's not there for me.
Because I gave her too good of a life and she's selfish. Straight out.
He hasn't been there. He hasn't gave me... He should have been there to walk me down the aisle. I got married. Where were you when I had my 3 kids? He should have been in that room.
She didn't even call. She knows she didn't.
Did you call him, Ms. Barrett?
No, I didn't, because the thing that he told me is if he was going to be there, she was going to be there.
How can I be there? How am I supposed to know? She's supposed to have it at 2 in the morning. But I am not picking my girlfriend over my daughter or my daughter over my girlfriend.
What is the issue you have with Ms. Huff?
She's been unstable. She came to my house, mine and my husband's first date. She came to my house at 3 o'clock in the morning on drugs with 3 random guys.
Your Honor,
Ms. Huff, please stand up at the podium.
Tell the truth.
I went to her house with my 2 cousins, not 3 random guys.
And she was looking for me, Your Honor. That's when she thought I was at my daughter's, but I wasn't.
All this money he has, she was coming to my house to borrow money for a taxi.
She's lying, Your Honor. I don't know where she gets these stories from, so...
She's like her mom.
Ms. Huff, do you or do you not believe Ms. Barrett is Mr. Jones' biological daughter?
He's never said to me that he didn't think that Stephanie was not his.
And if I find out she's not mine, I still love her, man. I raised her ever since she was little.
Thank you, ma'am, for your testimony. You may be seated. All right. We have heard a lot today. And from what I hear from your testimony, you held those doubts inside.
For a long time.
You didn't tell anybody, not even your girlfriend, fiance, or her.
Nobody, Your Honor. I just took care of her all of her life.
And so this has been hurting you.
Of course, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor, because I don't know if she is mine or not. But I was still there for her.
I think it's time for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Barrett v. Jones, as it pertains to whether Mr. Jones is the biological father of Miss Barrett, it has been determined by this court that Mr. Jones, you are her father. You were suing for damages of $5,000 for it was negligent infliction of emotional distress. I have to rule based upon the legal evidence presented, okay? And negligent infliction of emotional distress also requires a legal cause of action, something for it to be attached or based upon. And that hasn't been presented as well, okay?
Okay.
And for that reason, I have to dismiss your claim as well.
Okay, Your Honor.
Judgment for the defendant. So, family, here we are. Life's about choices. You may not be able to take away the hurt and pain between the two of you, but focus on the children. Open your heart and see if you can maybe find a way to let him in a little, so your children can have the benefit of knowing their grandfather, because he wants to know them.
Yes,
and
I love that,
grandparent
Your Honor.
love is a special kind of love, and every child deserves it, okay? I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you,
Court is
Your Honor.
adjourned.
I'm sorry, Steph, for everything that's happened, and I do want to step up and be a father to you. Everything that I can do for you, I love you and my grandchildren, and all I'm asking is just give me a chance to be in
Everything's
your
gonna
guys'
take
life.
time, but I'd like you to be in their lives too.
I love you, Stephanie. Even if my dad does. Do you hear me? I always loved you.